y'all, and welcome to Texaswatch. I'm your host, Project, and joining me, as always, is the trace of name with the biggest brain, Zay.
Yo, it is good to be back again for another episode. Once again, our teams have played.
And they suck.
And if you read the title, it tells you all you need to know, to be honest. I appreciate it if you stuck around for the whole episode, but you really get the gist of it just by the title. We're bad.
You know what? Look, it's only been 2 weeks. Each of our teams have played 2 games, and I feel like it's a bit too early to really say if we're that bad or not. Because Dallas played 2 teams who are arguably some of the best in the league, and Houston played the Florida Mayhem, who we all expected to be trash, and turns out, no, they're not.
I don't know. They could still be trash, and we're just worse trash. After what I saw.
and then you play the Justice, who surprised everyone last year, and now they're doing better.
Yeah, well, the Justice are a fan favorite, right? Are picked by a lot of analysts to finish at least, top 4 or 5 in the league, if not win it all.
So we lost against top teams, but the one thing anyone will say is you need to win those games. But we're not there yet because this is Texas Watch, your source for weekly Overwatch League discussion about the Houston Outlaws and the Dallas Fuel. You can catch the show right here on twitch.tv/Texas Watch every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time because Texas time
is bestest time.
If you can't catch the show live, don't worry about it. We're on podcast services and YouTube. Links in the description or over there in Twitch chat.
Yeah, please click them. We like when you click on our stuff. It makes us feel good. Makes us happy.
Hey, if anybody's in chat, can you type !podcast? I'd appreciate it. Thank you. I need to get that link up there.
The keyboard is not in our vicinity, so we need assistance. But
I forgot to move it. But that's not what we're talking about today. So last week, we had the Houston Outlaws play their first games of the season, and they were very okay.
That's putting it that's putting it mildly. So if you,
I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah,
okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you for the support because we absolutely need it. Speaking of supports, anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. No, it was a rough weekend for the Outlaws. To put it we'll go game by game. So the first game we played was against the Florida Mayhem, a team that is very lackluster in its overall history in the Overwatch League, right? Am I right? So
they were from the inaugural season to season 2, they've been bad. They're the only team from the inaugural season that has not been to a single playoffs.
What? Exactly. So let give you some context right now for what I'm about to say. We got 3-0 swept by this team. We did not win a single map off of this team.
Y'all were bad.
It was not only bad. I can deal with bad.
Get ready, folks. Get ready.
I can deal with bad, but there's almost a level of incompetence that I just can't deal with. You said Trace Man with the biggest brain. They just need to have some brain. I don't care the size. I just want a brain because a lot of decisions that were made during that game were not good at all. They weren't good at all. And
should we just jump into it?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, so they played in Philadelphia last week. The Outlaws played the first game against the Florida Mayhem, second game against the Washington Justice. 2 teams who statistically have been poor in their time in the Overwatch League. But with a new season means new players, new signings, and for some teams, new colors. Apparently that Miami Vice colorway is helping out the Mayhem quite a bit.
I could give them superpowers. I don't know what it was, but they might as well have all been Superman wearing capes, flying around, killing all the Outlaws players. It was crazy. Going into the beginning stages, so I started with Control, right? You started on Busan. And previously in Outlaws games, while we were a mediocre fledgling team, we usually won Control maps because we had enough talent that felt like on the roster to be like, we can just pick out some fights and squeeze out a map of Control. We've always been like that in our 2-year history, right? So going into year 3, we look like a completely different team on Control
maps.
You
guys are a completely different. Oh, you're talking about it's like in Control in general.
In Control in general, just like that was always our map type. That's our highest winning percentage map type, and we got blown out against both teams on that map type, and especially focused on Florida Mayhem. It was really hard to watch. So for the starting lineups we had, it was a little bit surprising. So our support line was Raucus and Jexay. So a lot of people thought Rappel would start.
I thought that Raucus, because he didn't play all 3 maps.
He did not. No, he did not. We rotated. So but the starting roster was Raucus and Jexay. DPS were Blase and Hydration, and our tanks are Muma and Mecha. So coming out, that was a bit of a shocker because no Dante and obviously no Rappel.
Which, by the way, I want a quick add. That means that the Houston Outlaws went with almost an entirely new starting roster. Kind of like the field did.
Yep.
So it was Muma and Raucus were playing on the team previously, and everyone else is new.
I expected, only people I expected to return to be in the starting lineup were Muma and Dante. I thought Raucus would be out, and Muma's just a mainstay, right? He's their only main tank right now.
He's the only main tank.
So
he kind of has to play.
He has no choice to play right now. But and that's so when you first saw the starting roster come out, you're like, okay, this is different. We'll see how this goes. But okay, when the match started, we'll give him a chance, right? You feel like Harshaw, our coaches, we have a good sense for what's going on, and they're going to do something to perform. But they didn't perform. Like the first map, it wasn't what's the open air one in the? It's got the you go to the left, or I guess to the right.
Well, first off, what was it?
Busan. It's the one with the high widow point, and it's downtown. Okay, downtown. So they start on Busan downtown. And from the first fight, when hydration gets picked first, guys, I watched this match like 3 times after it happened. It was
he's got notes, folks. He's got a notebook. Okay, he's going in.
Yeah, like so. What it comes down to, and I do like to hear myself talk a little bit. That's why I have a show and a podcast. So that's why we're here. But so, put it in a nutshell, this is a DPS meta, in my opinion.
Yes.
I think that your DPS...
And May.
Yeah, and May the devil.
Okay, quick aside. She is going to be the first character to get nerfed again.
Oh, absolutely. Our hero band.
I was playing my ranked game, and I'm like, as much as I love May, her walls are coming up way too often. Mm-hmm. I feel like they are a bit too hard to destroy.
Yeah, I think so too, especially when you're going against this May McCree, right? That's the meta.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't gotten to what we remember support. I'll get to that in a bit. I'll get to that in a bit. But to start, for anyone who doesn't play Overwatch, I will kind of do this every so often. McCree is a single shot hero. He does a lot of damage, but you have to really aim with him. May, as we just talked about, she freezes people. She can put up walls. Her ultimate is a blizzard. You can freeze everybody within a given area. So very powerful stuff. It's very powerful if you're alive. The key word is being alive. I cannot tell you how many times on that map Hydration died first, as our May. Literally this character can make walls out of the ground. But, that's a very important resource.
We can't just say that Hydration is the only fault here for the DPS. Blase was not doing his job on the team.
Let me finish. So, it started off with Hydration cannot do that, right? For the most part, Hydration's walls were pretty good. I think for the most part, he canceled out a lot of, I think it was Yaki was playing the May on the Mayhem side. But they were playing pretty even, protecting their Reinhardts, putting walls where they need to, and isolating teammates when they need to. So, you're playing a space game. Now, it's up to your McCree to do a lot of damage because he has to be able to hit headshots and be able to do a lot of damage to these tanks because no one else really can. May freezes him, McCree shoots him in the head. That's the meta that we're playing right now.
Right.
What the key thing in what I just said, if I repeat it for you again, is McCree has to shoot them in the head. That's the key part.
He's got to hit his headshots. Was Blase hitting his headshots?
He didn't hit anything. I was even hit a body shot. I don't want to seem like a complete hater. Blase, you're a professional Overwatch League player. Utmost respect.
Better than us.
Yeah, way better than us. But BQB took you to town. Yeah. BQB and side player through this matchup took you to town. And it wasn't pretty for us. So a lot of times when he would die first, you lose a ton of damage. Now all you have is just this ball of players or heroes that can't really poke out, that can't really do anything.
And May is the kind of damage character to where her utility is to freeze people. She can do damage, but it's not nearly as comparable to an actual DPS character like McCree.
Yeah, and
so losing that, you lose a lot.
It is. As Blase apparently made the best damage dealer because he kept getting headshot by the man on the other team. I'm like, dude, she has an icicle projectile. You have a bullet. It's a hit skin. Like, how are you messing this up? So it happened a lot, especially on that first map. The second one was even worse, to be honest. When we go to, I'm forgetting the Busan map names. The second Busan map is, which is the one with the big drum in the middle?
Okay, wait, so they played Busan downtown.
Downtown first, and we're looking at the screen now, guys, and I don't know, I can't look for too long, I might get triggered. So
just keep talking. Yeah. I gotta fix this, keep talking.
But yeah, so basically, after the first, I guess, subsection of the map, we get round 2, right? And so we go into round 2, and the Mayhem play Widowmaker. Widowmaker's a hero, is a sniper. She can shoot you from extremely long distances. The McCree character I mentioned can only shoot you from about mid-range. Who do you think wins in a very large map? You thought about it? You got your answer? Good. It's probably the long-range player playing Widowmaker. Apparently, our team didn't figure that out or realize it. And in my opinion on why they didn't switch to the Widowmaker of their own is because Blase was doing fairly poorly on the McCree as it was. Ooh, I caught it this time. Haha, it didn't drop. Saved y'all's ears.
I'm sorry.
Saved y'all's ears. But yeah, so I don't think Blase is very comfortable on the Widowmaker. I think that's a huge problem. We do have players on our team, Linkser, who can play those hit scan heroes like McCree and Widowmaker. Granted, he's a little bit of a 1-2 trick, I guess, because he only plays those two. But he's much better than what Blase had shown so far on these maps. And even going to the next game against the Justice, but they're just good. So it was rough to watch as an Outlaws fan. Our DPS constantly getting outperformed. And poor Muma, and MVP of this matchup was Meko. Because the only reason that BQB or Saya player who switched in on the third map, the only reason that they would lose a fight was because Meko was in the back line, harassing the McCree or harassing the Widow, and then we'd actually win. And then Blase would hit a headshot and kill someone. Every time Blase got the first kill, we won the fight.
Yeah.
Go watch the replay. Every time he got the first kill as McCree, we won the fight. And
well, I want to go back to you mentioning Meko for a second, because Meko is the Outlaws' off tank. He is known for his diva play. He previously played on the New York XL, the arguably second best team of the league. Relatively consistent until they get to playoffs and they choke.
I think the best franchise in the league between their marketing, and their homestands, and
as much as I love to burn blue, Andbox knows what they're doing with that team.
They are, yeah.
Like their marketing is dope. Their homestands went over super well. If I had to choose a team other than the few, it would be the New York XL.
Yeah, if I had to choose a team to take care of me as a fan, like, I would be the one to be NYXL fan. They take care of the fans.
Do you remember when they had that pop-up shop year one and they had like the undefeated jerseys?
Yeah, like,
and then they literally had a Levi's collaboration the first year they existed.
Yes, they treat their fans really well. In these collaborations, you get discounts, you get benefits, like, it's insane. So we got the player from there. Meko's probably like, I gotta go to the Outlaws. I'm sorry, Meko, that was you had to come to this. So kind of a shit show right now, but that's what it feels like. But he is a high caliber player. If you listen to last week's episode, I doubted Meko. I thought that he would be good, but I thought because he fits so well with the Excelsior style that he may not fit into our style as much. That dude fits into any style. He was just good. He was just good. He was making plays. He was saving on McCree a bunch of times. He saved Muma a ton of times, and he killed the Widow a bunch of times. So I think he was the MVP of the first game here. I'm so glad he's on our team. And I really hope we perform better with him on there. So that's the damage. So with these, I remember I mentioned that Raucus and Jexay were our supports. So I'm trying to think of the best way I want to put this. We ran Brigitte and Lucio as our main support,
which is very questionable. And I'm not a coach, so I don't know why they decided to do this. But Raucus as a player is known for his honor play.
Yes.
I mean, Raucus was a MVP candidate. He played for Team USA. He helped them secure the gold medal in the World Cup last year.
Preach!
Like, Raucus is not a bad player. And I think it's a shame, honestly, because a lot of people like to shit on him. And it's not fair.
Yeah, I think that he's an above-average Overwatch League player. I don't think he's the best, I think, in any category or anything like that, but he is serviceable.
Well, I would say he's better than just serviceable.
Yeah, he's good.
He's one of the kind of, like, typically with support players, if you talk about them, or rather, if you don't talk about them, they're doing their job. But I feel like you talk about Raucus and the fact that he does his job and sometimes a little more.
Yeah, I think so. I'd agree. That's why I'm glad that... So I guess that's why they gave Raucus the benefit of the doubt when it came to Repel. Because when you look at the numbers and look at the gameplay, Raucus doesn't ever do, like, bad. He's not a bad player. He, for the most part, does good things and makes the right decisions.
Right.
Now, putting him in Brig Jail?
Why?
Why?
The healing combination of Brigitte and Lucio, you have two characters who do a lot of AoE healing. So instead of focusing your healing onto one character like a Mercy, like a Moira, where you have to choose, hey, I'm healing this character.
Yeah.
Right. You have healing that just goes all around. And so with a composition like the May, McCree, Reinhardt, and Diva, it makes a little bit of sense to have that AoE, but it's just a questionable thing you have to ask the coaches. Like, why aren't they playing their best characters? And some people will say because you have to play the meta. And I get that school of thought, but I really want to see Overwatch League teams stop forcing their teams to play the meta and play what they're good at.
No, yeah, hell no. Lucio Brig is not the meta. Hell no. That is not the meta. You know why it's not the meta? Because of May. You described yourself. 2 AoE healers.
Yes.
What does Blizzard do?
It's a AoE ability.
It kills everyone in a given area, and we're all in one tight area.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that was our whole strategy, so which kind of fell apart against the May. And if you watch the game, Yaki got a lot more value out of his Blizzards than Hydration did, because they're playing Widow. The McCree was flanked around. They had a Diva. We ran double tank at one point, or double main tank. But they were spread out a little bit more than we were, and a lot of the Blizzards caught us because we would speed boost in with Lucio Brig, and we're going AoE hand, we're going to jump on somebody. They Blizzard or made us freeze us 3 people. Like, it's hard to run that comp, in my opinion, against a hero that really specializes in AoE, abilities, or AoE damage.
Right.
So it was tough to watch. It was like them running this into a brick wall every 20 seconds, every fight. So that's what makes me question a lot of the decision making. I don't know, from the players or from the coaches, if they really wanted to stick with this and try it out. But that was the huge thing. Florida was so beatable. Florida was very beatable. And then after that, so we lose Busan, right? Because that's when we know what happens. We run May McCree, Lucio Brig, Reinhardt Diva, and we just run into this brick wall every time between Blizzards and headshots. Headshots from BQB and side player, and then the May ults, basically. So then we go to Havana. So I just mentioned, right, about this distance thing.
He is so salty, yo. Oh my god.
Because, like I said, I could deal with bad. If you're like, because Blase played badly, in my opinion. I think he played extremely bad. As far as like it just mechanical wise, maybe he wasn't as sharp.
Can we take a quick sidebar conversation?
Sure.
One thing that we haven't mentioned is a lot of the players came up and it was revealed that some of them had the flu.
Yes.
That's why we didn't see our sniper specialist in Linkser. That's why you had some performances that just weren't that good. And we're going to come back to the games. One conversation that I wanted to have on this podcast is, thanks to travel, thanks to players consistently going to other countries and having to expose themselves to more things, they're going to be more exhausted. Their bodies are going to be weaker. More players are going to get sick.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we're going to have situations like this to where it's like, okay, you can't forfeit a game. Like, so I think Miss Liz is Liz Richardson, I believe. She's a reporter. She looked over the clause. There is no forfeit clause in the Overwatch League rules. If a team, no team can just say we can't play.
So she may have to show up there with like 3 people, like 3v6 kind of game.
If you are in a position to where people are sick, congratulations, you're still going on stage. And I think that this is definitely going to be an issue with this whole season. We have another, 6 months of teams traveling around the world?
Yeah, I would agree.
This sentiment is echoed in multiple content creators and people that I personally follow, to where we have to remember that our bodies are not made to travel this much.
Which is fair, and my counter argument to that is 1, suck it up. 2, no, you're right. But this is what every professional sport, right? This is a professional sport. You travel, you have home and away games.
But even you had all the YouTube and Reddit comments who are saying, well, Michael Jordan performed like...
Oh, I saw that. I was like, really, dude? Like Michael Jordan.
You can't compare esports players to T-sports players, because with T-sports, when you are getting your body warm, even if you're sick, you can still perform at a certain aptitude. But when, like, say, for example, you have the flu, right? I see all these people on Twitter that are like, well, I've had the flu and I can... No. Yeah. You haven't had the flu,
and plus,
okay?
And not at a high level anyway. You can play the game. Of course, they're like, well, you can play the game still. Yeah, of course, I can play the game with my foot. But, like, that doesn't mean I'm going to be good.
You're not going to be as good as you normally would be. And I feel that this game was the first example of a team that just couldn't perform.
Right.
You know, like we know that the Outlaws have talent now. We know that they have a great coaching staff. It's a lot of things that I feel like were out of the players' control. And if these players did indeed have the flu, if they did indeed have to play when they weren't playing their best, because they're competitors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're going to want to play. Right.
And I agree. And I think if you watch a lot of the player cams too in a lot of these games, there were a couple of questionable shots from hydration and Blase. I've already been harping on enough. I think he could have performed a lot better. I think he can play better too.
Now, hold on. I want to take a step back though. I'm not saying that they deserve to get all this like, oh well, no, they weren't playing their best. Yes, that sucks. But it's really hard to really put it in consideration because yes, they are sick. But they're still pros.
Yeah, but the compositions, like I'm mentioning, didn't help them out either. It's not like the McCree has a Mercy or an Anna. They're like, yo, pump some heals in me. I'm frozen. Like, help me now. All you guys are Lucio that hope he has a healing boost, and that's it. A Brig hopes you got an armor pack. If they're out of that, then you're just gonna die. You know?
I wish they would buff her armor pack a little bit as a Brig player, but they won't.
They won't. Brigged into the ground. I don't know why we played her. I don't know why we play a hero that's so nerfed. Like I don't understand.
Because Brigitte is still very strong. My win rate with her is I think like 60-something%.
Yeah, but in an organized, well, I mean at our level, you can just dominate this break. You can just stun people and just run up on them, then panic and just die. But at an Overwatch League level, you think that you have to be very coordinated with Brig because she only has so much healing, and so does Lucio, and you have to burst into these teams, and that's what the Outlaws were trying to do. They were speed boosting, like literally. The decisive fights we took, like we were on high ground and we speed boost down into the other team. There was a really good one. Movement had an awesome shatter. It was on the third map, Icon Wall. Goes in that in a second, where you see that happen. But on Havana, going back to my distance conversation.
Go ahead.
Man, dude, if my bullet goes farther than yours and it's a long distance, you're gonna die, and that's literally what happened.
Doesn't McCree he is a hit scan though? Like if there is a character super far away, if he can land the shot, it will go there.
Well, he has one thing that Widow does not at that distance: damage fall off.
Does he really?
Yes.
I thought it was like pure hit scan.
No, if you body shot a Widow, let's say you're at the beginning of Havana, like the spawn point,
right?
And Widow's on the far up top balcony, right main. If you shoot her in the head and she shoots you in the head, she's gonna get her full 150 or 250, whatever it is, damage. You're gonna get maybe half of yours.
Oh shit!
McCree and Soldier have damage fall off after a certain range. So no matter where you hit them, you do more less.
I've been playing Overwatch since launch, and I didn't know that.
Yes, they're damage. All hits. Widowmaker, and Ashe. No, even I think Ashe has fall off. Widowmaker is the only hero that does not have damage fall off as a hit scan.
Huh?
Yeah. So. Or if she does, it is way farther because obviously her scope is farther, so they go past that.
Right.
So
she is a sniper.
But absolutely, so we can aim bot or whatever you want, put a cheat on, and I'm at spawn with McCree and you're with Widow. You headshot me, I headshot you. You're gonna kill me first, just because you're not gonna have damage fall.
Well then, so let's play armchair coach for a second.
Okay.
Would you have put Blase on Widow?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I'd have been like, dude, I didn't want to play it, but just try to aim for that. Just scare the Widow. A lot of times, I've been playing in games where I'm the worst Widow. Absolutely. I play DPS and I'm like, dude, everyone's at the Widow. We can't pass the Widow. Just pick the Widowmaker and then shoot at her once. Make her move. And then she moves and looks at you. Now you move. So they're not shooting at your team. Even if you're not doing anything, you've made it a 5v5.
Yep.
Because now you're shooting at her, she's shooting at you, and you can work from there. Then if you have a diva, it can go mess with the Widow if you really need to and take her out the fight. But that's what you need to do. I feel like, and this is kind of in the league as a whole, maybe because I'm not as disciplined because they've been practicing and they have certain strategies and things like that they do. But the ability to make swaps on the fly, it's like, yo, this isn't working, we need to do this. That doesn't really happen a lot. At least for the Outlaws, it hasn't. And I will give them credit on this map. So on Havana, we held them at point A. They did not touch point A. So we had them.
Why didn't the Outlaws win that map, by the way?
Oh, dude, if you...
Because I was watching like, oh, they got it. And they couldn't...
I didn't mark the timestamp in my notes, dang it, for that map. But after they lost their first push, you were like, wait a minute. Because you realize they had figured it out. Saya player was on Widowmaker, and the last fight got 3 picks before we touched the cart. 3 picks before we even got to the cart to make our final push because she flanked. And we had no one besides our diva to go get her, but our diva is trying to go get the Ana because we have no one to fight the Ana either. So it was just like you can try your best to be really good at this comp. Like you're a six ball, you're a 6-man death ball, run at somebody or the Reinhardt or the Diva or one character. But then just Widow back here, just like, what are y'all just gonna hit?
Well, if you remember, I think I made this comment last week. The Outlaws are having a issue with communication. You're having
fair.
Meko, Repel, Jexay. Who's the other Korean player you guys brought on, or was that just those three?
I believe it was just those three. Just those three.
So you have three characters, three players.
They are characters.
Three players who previously played on all Korean rosters are now being integrated into a mixed language roster where not everybody on the team speaks just English.
True.
Does Hydration speak just English? I think
yes, Hydration speaks just English.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I think because he's Portuguese. Yeah. Or is it Brazil? Is it Portuguese?
I think it's Portuguese.
Okay, Portuguese. Okay, I think I'm thinking
I don't know if
Remix.
Overwatch
Maybe.
League I think Remix was the only Brazilian player.
Okay.
And he doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, he streams. He's a good streamer too.
Yeah. But when you have to integrate players who came from a purely Korean roster to a mixed roster when they don't speak English, you're gonna run into some issues.
Yes, I agree, but you say that, but then I look at the way Jexay performed. If Meko wasn't the MVP, Jexay literally killed the Widow by himself.
Wasn't he playing Lucio?
I was watching his point of view. I was like, dude, if I can play Lucio like that, I'm going to GM. I'm going to Grandmaster. Like, this guy is insane on the Lucio pick. It was insane to watch, and the thing I love most about it is because between Meko, it's a whole different way of thinking. I think between the Korean players and the American players, and I think this is why the Korean players a lot of times end up being better players. They are so much more decisive in what they want to do. Literally, I think what happened if you watch Havana towards when they were getting pushed out and time was running out and we weren't going to get point A, Jexay and Meko just said fuck it. And they just started diving. They both died.
You watched
the Widow and
you were watching live, right?
I was watching live.
Remember, Reinforce on the desk was like, hey, Outlaws, I have a coaching tip for you. Go.
Yeah.
Press W.
Yes.
Stop being scared. Just go.
And it's weird because, as much as sometimes I hate chat, because Muma got a lot of the blame during this matchup, or during this match, for being over-aggressive or getting outperformed by Roar. Muma's washed. No, man, he doesn't know when to go because his fucking McCree doesn't kill anybody. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a little tense there. He doesn't know when to go. I'm getting a little tense because his McCree's not doing anything. And then the Diva's just trying to challenge the player far over there, or the Widow or the McCree, so he has no protection. So he's like, I can't go anywhere. Like, I need something to happen, guys. Please, need something to happen. And then when he overextends, he gets Maywalled and dies, and everyone's like, oh, Muma's feeding, Muma sucks.
Which is the annoying thing. As someone who has played a lot of main tank, you often get a lot of flack, but it's like, hey, my job is to hold up the shield and to soak up damage.
Yeah.
And I do that so you guys can perform and do your job.
And I have a break Lucio. Who's going to heal me? Like, what am I going to do? If they dive me and my armor packs are gone and my Lucio's out killing Widow and my Diva's gone, I have no DM. I have no burst healing. All I have is my shield. Like, There are so many fights where we could have won, but Moon was like 10 HP and literally had to hold his shield up, backing away, and could not swing his hammer to finish the fight.
It's so frustrating watching that too.
Yes.
Because you watch the main take a bunch of damage because they're doing their job, but if they don't get the support that they need, then they can't perform.
Exactly.
And especially if he's playing Reinhardt. You realize that Reinhardt players don't have range. They literally can hold up their shield, swing their hammer. They get a fire strike every 6 seconds. Yes, but you know how easy it is to dodge a fire strike?
Yeah, you see it coming. It's like, okay, step to the left. Thank you very much. D was like, sweet, D-Matrix.
Right, and it's like, okay, cool. So to flame a main tank, I feel like it's really hard.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless they are being that dumbass Ryan like in my Silver games where they consistently charge in by themselves. I'm looking at you, Silver Reinhardts. Stop it.
Just hold your shield up. I swear.
Don't hit shift. Never hit shift unless you are like next to a wall. Because if you hit shift and you go into their back line by yourself, bitch, I'm not healing you. You did this to yourself. Okay? Thank you.
Well said. Well said. And you can't even do it like at an Overwatch League level. Bumper got cut. You were Bumper, but Vancouver Titans did shit like that. He would charge into the enemy team and put all his team's resources into keeping him alive, and that's stressful as hell. You're like, and it's like, dude.
But it worked for Vancouver. But that's also because Vancouver is the kind of team where they communicated. They expected Bumper to be a dumbass.
They were a team of all-stars, dude. Every player on that team was like a top 5 at their position. So that's
But if you remember in Stage 4, once 2-2-2 came in, Vancouver started to suck.
Yeah, because they didn't have, 3 healers to heal
right.
Bumper. Like, damn it, all 3 of us got to go and save Bumper. But no, that was the case. So I really didn't like the fact that Moomer received a lot of flack during a lot of these games. And so it was unfortunate in that last fight, but he had some great shatters too. Like Moomer is not washed. And when Meko actually gets a chance to protect him, he did really well. I don't blame the tanks. I think the main thing I blame for our losses here, it's not even really it's the players. So it is kind of the players. I don't blame Moomer or Meko. I think Meko performed at an all-star level. I don't blame Rockets or Jexay. Jexay also performed at an all-star level, and Rockets did the best he did the best he could at his job. Hydration and Blase really, I don't think, stepped up the way they should have in this matchup. Are playing heroes that I know they can. Hell, Hydration plays a good Doomfist. Like, if it's not working, just start punching Orion out the way and then see what happens.
Well, this is a question that I actually have when it comes to the coaching staff versus the players. If you remember in the Dallas Fuel San Francisco shot game, Sinatra went on the record. He wasn't doing well, so it was like, hey guys, I'm supposed to Doomfist. Okay, thanks. No one told him to. He just did it and then dominated. So how often do we have situations to where players are told by their coaches, hey, stay on this hero, versus do what you want?
I think it's a matter of trust, right? I guess between the coaches and the players, because I'm not gonna lie, I'd be that dude. I'd be like, look, I'm not gonna play this Reaper hero anymore. They're not gonna have any hit scan or running May Junkrat. I'm going Pharah.
Well, this is the bigger question that I want to raise for the entire league, right? Like, how often do you have coaches that say, hey, play this rigid style? I mean, this is an Outlaws week, but to go talk about the Fuel for a second.
Yeah.
When we played that double main tank with Gomsu on Orisa and Trill on Reinhardt, it was like, well, what? Maybe we can get an off tank here. Why are we doing so? Like whenever they made Note play Reinhardt, right?
That was
it was questionable, right?
Very questionable. Very questionable decision.
You have like strategies in mind, you have the meta in mind, but you have players who are known for playing a specific hero, and they're being told by their coaching staff to play something else. When is it that the player has the liberty to make the decision to play, hey, I'm going to swap to this because I think it'll work, versus coach tells me to play this, I'm going to play this?
That's why I would probably compare Overwatch more to basketball than football, right? Because in football, you're a receiver, right? You catch the ball. You can't just lie out and play quarterback. You can't just start throwing and expect to be
like,
good.
Hey, passing the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I call this play. Like, this doesn't work. But in basketball, a lot of times, like, sometimes you have the power forward bring up the ball up the court and shoot a 3 or something like that. Or maybe you have the point guard go in the post and, like, try to do a layup or get his back to the basket. So you have that flexibility and fluidity for whatever's working. So I think Overwatch should be more like that. Or if I was a coach, I would allow my players to be more like that, saying, look, now you don't do it every 10 seconds. You don't lose one fight and then be like, okay, we got to switch if the comps are, somewhat equal.
For the record, I do that in my comp games, though. Like, if I'm playing DPS, I see it as, like, I have 15 DPS to choose from. If I see that they are really annoying with the Widowmaker, I'm going to swap to a Sombra to stop her.
Right, which is fair, exactly, which I would agree with. If your comp is something like, if you're running May Reaper and there's a Widow, you're like, we have 2 choices here. We either need to lose him and speed boost into the team and kill them all or before the Widow hits us, or we got to go dive. So you have to make that decision as a team. And I think, especially in Overwatch League, you have more of an opportunity to do something like that because you're all a team, right? You're like, there's no, like, one player's like, I want to play Hanzo. Like, you don't have that dude.
Or the one player who plays Widow for your entire game and doesn't ever swap.
Yeah.
Looking at you, gold border Widows. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm a gold border Widow.
But you don't pick Widow and stay as Widow the entire game.
No.
Okay?
I know.
Or attack Widows. I'm like, look. Attack Widow works in some situations.
Attack Widow Havana is great in my opinion.
In some situations, but if you're playing Attack Widow on control, come on.
Yeah. Well, Busan my second point with the drum.
Okay.
See,
okay.
there's always a situation where you can play Widow.
It's just more on the lines of I feel that Overwatch is the kind of game to where you don't have to stay as a certain character. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, going back to the Fuel. When we played that double main tank strat, we stayed as those characters the entire game.
Yeah.
No one swapped.
Yeah, and that was my thing, too. You should. So I went out to watch this game. We have the Lone Star Vanguard. Shout out to the Lone Star Vanguard.
LSV.
When we went out to watch the game.
Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that?
Yes, you can say that.
Okay.
Absolutely, sure. I had to yell Burn Blue for a weekend, so you can say
okay.
But yeah, so we watched. I watched with the LSV at an esports lounge this game, and we're not rocket scientists.
No,
I consider myself someone of average to above average.
We are armchair analysts. Okay,
exactly.
Don't take our word as gospel. We're just two dudes that like to get drunk and talk about Overwatch.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. But when we look at this game, like, we've been playing it for a while.
You didn't finish my story, but anyway, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was trying to fill the silence, okay? You can't make a podcast and have 2 seconds of silence. Sorry, not sorry. This is how it works.
So you can't. It's suspense. I call it suspense building. It's like, wait, did it die?
You ever heard the pregnant pause?
No. Okay, I can't do it. What is happening? I don't know what you were doing. You do something with your beard.
The podcast didn't break, folks. We're just being assholes.
But yeah, so God damn it, I forgot where my story was going. Oh yeah,
you're welcome.
So watching the game with the LSV at the esports lounge, it took us literally the first map of Busan. We were like, okay, Brig Lucio, control map, cool, whatever. You got this gimmick, yeah. We go to Havana, we're like, we're still running it. We get a good stop on defense, point A. Like, oh, this might work. And we keep running it as our Brig keeps getting shot in the head by a Widowmaker. And everyone at the bar was like, dude, we got to switch off Brig. Like, these are people who don't really play Overwatch on that level or nowhere near the knowledge that me and Projekt have in regards to our Overwatch League and just in general hours in the game. And they're like, why do they keep playing this healer that like swings their like hammer thing? Like this other thing, it's like that lady with the blue on, she shoots people to heal them. Yes. Why don't they switch to that? These are people that have played the game for 10 hours. Yeah. And they can figure that out. So that's what made it frustrating to watch. And why I keep bringing up the topic of, yes, our DPS, I think, didn't play to the expectation we wanted. I think they played somewhat poorly. But the level of, like, this is what our coaches came up with for us to play for this series of maps. It was rough. It was really, really rough. And to go for this matchup, go to the final map on Eichenwild.
Eichenwald, come on, man, get your German straight.
Do I look German?
Eichenwild, what the fuck?
I know, if you listen to this on a podcast, you can't see me, but I do not look German. Trust me, I do not look German at all. Nope.
I think I have like 1/25 of German in me.
Nah, I ain't got that. I may have scraped my knee. Some German
itch. Itch. What's second knee? I don't.
No.
I can say Scheiße. That's German.
What does that mean?
Shit.
Oh. I walked into that one now. Dude, all I want to know is say in German. How do you say beer in German? Does anyone know?
Beer?
Beer.
I think it's just beer.
It's just beer. Like Reinhardt says it. Bring me another.
Yeah. Hey Google, how do you say beer in German? Come on. Yeah, beer. Yeah. See, it's still beer.
Okay. Cheers to beer. Beer. But Eichenwald. There you go. I'll add some spit to it to help you out.
Eichenwald. It's like a V. Come on, man.
Eichenwald.
Welcome to Texaswatch, where we teach you how to say maps in German.
That's what it's to me. Eichenwald. So Eichenwald. Another long-range sightline map. Do you catch a theme here with where I'm going with this episode?
Shut down the Florida Mayhem's Widow.
Yes, shut down there. And on this one, it was interesting because we defended first and they attacked first with May and McCree. So it was even. It was a mirror matchup between both divas and everything else. But they just got the first pick. It seemed like, and I have it on my notes here as a kind of summary, but the execution wasn't there. The rotations weren't there, which is to your point of saying that maybe it's a language barrier. They're just very slow, the Outlaws, in what they want to do, especially for playing at this level. Like, you got to know what you're going to do. You got to go.
I do think the language barrier is something that we need to keep in consideration, though. Like, I don't expect the 3 Korean players that the Outlaws picked up to fully understand English. Like, yes, there are calls that you can get, that you can pick up, but if you don't know, if you haven't been playing with that for a while, like, again, looking at Meko, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the New York Excelsior, playing on all Korean teams for his entire career.
Right.
All of a sudden, congratulations, you're on a mixed roster.
Yeah, and then I have to put myself, I guess, in their shoes, because imagine playing on, like, a Korean server in ranked.
Yeah.
And playing, like, Sombra. You're like, just spam your, like, your emote keys or whatever. Or
That's
your
really all
keys.
you have.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what they were doing, because imagine they're talking and making call-outs, and you're like, I have no idea what anyone's saying. I heard McCree, but I don't know where, because he said McCree right in Korean. So when I put myself in that mindset, I think it does help out a little bit. Well, yeah, it helps it a lot, because I'm like, ooh, man, I can't imagine playing. Even Spanish, I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. Well, how do you say right or left in Spanish? I have no idea.
I took years of Spanish in high school and college, and I still don't know.
Yeah.
I still don't know.
Funny no, yeah, they'll teach you Spanish, but they won't teach you how to do your taxes.
Right?
Come on, America.
Okay, quick tangent. Why in the fuck do we have to take a foreign language? Like, I'm sorry. I understand, like, there are other countries that, like in Asian countries, you have to learn English. Like, that's just a requirement from a young age. But when you get to America, oh, well, you can maybe learn Spanish or French in high school, but, you can replace it with ROTC or something, or maybe some other supplier. You know what I mean? It's
Here's my devil.
Elective? I want to make sure I get my terms straight.
I took Chinese as one of my electives. I've never used that ever again. But in Devil's Advocate, in Japan, obviously it's a requirement for you to speak another language at a certain point to a certain level of proficiency.
At a very young age. Like, they start in early childhood.
True.
Whereas in the science of it all, right? You can learn a new language very easily when you're super young because your brain is very easily molded.
True.
But when you've been speaking a certain language for the first 16 years of your life, all of a sudden, hey, by the way, even though your brain's already developed, here's another language.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Like, if you don't have the capacity to already learn that, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, I did have a pretty interesting time. We kind of trolled the teacher. Anyway, we won't talk about my high school experiences. But yeah, so going back to Overwatch, it does let me have a little bit of sympathy for the Korean players going to an American team and a more American roster. But with that said, they still, the 2 Korean players between Meko and Jexay performed better, I think, than anyone throughout both matchups.
If I recall correctly from watching the game, Meko was usually the last person to die.
Absolutely. And granted, he's a diva, so divas do survive quite a bit.
Yeah.
You can boost and basically fly every 3 seconds, so...
it's great. It's so great.
But he made the right decision. So a lot of times he knew when to D matrix. I keep wanting to say DM and defense matrix.
Well, that's what you get when you bring up a player from a top 3 team onto the Outlaws, who, not to mince words, were a bottom 5 team last season. Sorry,
I need to open up the beer on that one because that was just a rough time.
It's the truth. Like, Dallas didn't do much better. If you remember, they did pretty good the first half of the season. After their homestand, they forgot how to play Overwatch. Yeah. And it's like, we look at these teams, and whether it's coaching staff, whether it be management, there are lots of pieces that we don't know what actually happens.
True.
Because let's face it, if we did know everything that happened, if teams were as transparent as we'd like them to be, they'd be at a severe disadvantage.
I agree. I think that, I think there's a lot of moving pieces that we don't see, and the things that you mentioned before, especially about the players being potentially sick, that causes. I can't in my right mind think that they would bench Dante willingly. I don't see, especially after the way Blase performed in Hydration, I think Dante and Hydration should be the starting roster.
I agree.
And I think the only way that wouldn't be the case is something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about. Of course, there's rumors about them being sick. They don't confirm anything, obviously. I think Links had tweeted it.
My big question is still, Blase came from the Boston Uprising, a team who has been very meh. In the Overwatch League, the Boston Uprising are the workshop team. They are the...
Speaking of which, you play them next week. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a dumpster fight.
I do. If you see the memes, I hate it. You know,
I love when it was like two monkeys fighting.
I was like, no, this is where we've come. This is how far we've gotten.
But here's the fucking problem with people on the internet, though. This meme culture. We get our first look, and all of a sudden, we know everything. Bitch, it's been 1 week.
It's been 1 week. Look at the title, Overreaction Tuesday. We know everything. The Justice are amazing. The Shocker, everyone's amazing. The Shocker are amazing. You know.
Dallas are trash because they lost 2 games against 2 of the best teams in the league.
The Outlaws haven't won a map, so we're gonna go defeated the whole season. So those are overreactions that I feel personally watching as a fan. I was like, how is this happening? We have to be better than this. There's no way we're this bad. But it was hard to watch. These games.
Absolutely.
It was tough.
So I'll admit, I was listening to the games. I wasn't watching them. I was, hanging out, doing my thing.
You didn't miss much. You missed side players shooting people in the head. That's all you missed. Literally in this matchup. And
I was gonna look. Here's the thing that we keep on going on to and then walking away from. This was the first week.
Yeah.
The first 2 games. How long is this fucking season?
It's a long season.
There's so much that can happen. So many things that can change. Trades are still possible.
Yeah, trades.
Players can get released. They can get picked up. We can have players, though, literally change roles.
Yeah.
On the Shock, Architect decided, I'm going to be a healer this game.
Architect is so good, dude. Him and Rascal.
So oh my god.
Rascal's one of my favorite players in the league, low key.
He was on Dallas for a bit until we released him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, look at him now. It's kind of tough. That's really tough.
Yeah, but we keep on jumping to these snap judgments, and apparently we all know what's happening. No, we don't have a fucking clue. The Outlaws have so much potential, and they have an entirely new coaching staff, new management. Most of the players are new. I don't think it's very fair for us to consistently say these teams are shit.
But I do have a clue that we're 0-2.
Damn. How do I come from that? Oh my god.
So that's one thing I do have a clue about, because if I could quote the great Jay-Z, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And we are 0-2 at a -6 map differential right now.
Yeah.
So
aren't you guys technically 20th, or are you who?
I don't think anyone else got swept.
Pulling up the stats.
Well, the shock may have swept somebody. No, because y'all took a map off of them.
Yep.
So
we took a map off of the Shock, the
Yeah.
number 1 team in the league. We're not complete trash. Yeah.
Broke the streak. Well played.
So you guys are number 20th, right behind London, and London is -5.
Wait. Oh, so yeah, we are last.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's only because you have lost 2 games. Let's see. So you have
London's only played 1.
London has played 2 games and lost both. Dallas has played 2 games and lost both. Houston's played 2 games and lost both. And then you have the Gladiators and the Uprising have only lost 1 game.
But we're the only team that hasn't won a map in the league, aside from teams that haven't played.
Yes.
That's just shitty. That sucks.
Yeah, I got nothing nice to say about that.
That is
but
a
again,
shitty
it's
feeling.
literally been week 1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different teams out of the 20 teams in the league who still have not played yet.
Okay, so we, as of today, we're the worst team in the league for now. But so I'll just say for now. After all the teams that have played, we've obviously shown the least amount of promise, I would say.
Yeah.
And to kind of segue a little bit into the next match, this was all the first match. This wasn't even against the Washington Justice. Now, we talked about
do we need to talk about the Justice game? It was more of the same, except replace BQB with Corey.
Yeah, who's a better version of BQB. He's like an MVP version of that. It's so funny. Like, I have a if you stay for the post show, if you are still here on the Twitch chat while watching the stream, I do have a clip I want to show of that game, and you will see the drastic difference between Blase and Corey, and positioning and shot placement. So I think you're right. It was more of the same. But however, I only want to bring that game up is because we did switch. We ran a lot more of the Ana Lucio on day 2 of this. So I like the fact that Harshaw was like, you know what? Fuck it. play the meta, play what we need to play, and he was willing to compensate for that, or willing to drop his ego and not say, no, stick to Brig Lucio. Like, no, man, that shit wasn't working. And I'm sure his players came in and told him that wasn't working, and they didn't like playing it into just a brick wall.
And again, I cannot wait for hero pools to come into the game. Like, I do genuinely think hero pools are going to change Overwatch, not just Overwatch League, Overwatch for the better.
Yeah, just delete May. Can we just delete May?
No, because I like playing May.
Oh my god.
She's so cute. Come on.
No.
Yes.
How? It's cute when you're frozen. She walks up to you and shoots you in between your eyes.
Maybe
that's cute.
Maybe everything other than her gameplay is cute.
She is the most toxic character. You'll be in a room and she'll wall the room off like you're dead, just spray you. And you're just like, I can't do anything. There's nothing you can do.
Wouldn't you say Sombra is a bit more toxic?
No, because at least the Sombra hacks me and I can still shoot. I still have a chance. Like, most characters can still shoot to hit her or dodge the hack. With a May, no.
But I mean, I said it at the top of the show, I'll say it again. May is the next character to get a big nerf.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Does she have the only projectile that can't be blocked?
What do you mean?
So
it can be eaten by defense matrix.
No. I mean, no, her spray. Because
Zarya.
The bubble, I guess. Yeah. But it still does damage, like, because D.Va can eat almost anything, right? Can D.Va eat Sigma's, like, ball things?
D.Va cannot eat Zarya's beam, May's blaster, or Sigma's rock.
She can eat the rock, the ball things.
She can eat the little balls, but she can't eat the rock. And the rock is a lot more dangerous than the little balls.
That's his secondary fire. May's primary fire, no one can stop.
Nope.
No, that is an open. That is this. I'm done. I'm about to walk out. I'm about to flip this microphone. This hero literally has our primary fire is something no one can stop.
But that's why it has such a short range. It has an okay range. It's probably about to get shortened, to be honest.
Yeah, and guess what we did? We ran a Brig Lucio into a May where she's just like spraying everyone. It's. Delete the hero. Just delete the hero.
I mean, so if I...
Guys, I'm gonna start a
for the
petition.
first set of hero bans, I think it's going to be Reinhardt, May, McCree, and I don't know, maybe Brig for the first support ban.
Please don't. Please keep Lucio. Lucio's so fun to watch.
It's either going to be Lucio or Brig, because in Overwatch League, it's based off of player play time, and in the Overwatch client, it's based off of, it's a random draw. So I do believe that we're going to definitely see May, McCree get banned immediately, but these bans are only for 1 week. It's not permanent.
Yeah, this is true. That's going to be when the real craziness starts, right?
I'm excited.
We're overreacting to this, I guess, 1 week kind of shenanigans that we did, but maybe Harshaw's like, look, play as many heroes as you can that are like off meta, because we're going to have to do this eventually and come March, where the hero bans are the hero pools. I keep saying hero bans, but they really are bans. But hero pools, we won't do hero bans. We're not going to do that. We have hero pools. Anyway.
Look, we can't call them hero bans.
They're hero bans.
If it were true hero bans, then the players would be the ones that would be choosing who to ban. It's Blizzard is choosing who to ban.
If you're listening on the podcast, you see the face of a project right now. No.
That's me trying to make a workaround so I can sound right, okay?
No. Blizzard has decided what heroes to ban and left it taken away from the teams, which I do like. If you're going to do it this way. Yep. Because I would hate to see, like, we put in links there. We're banning Widow, haha. Like, that would not be fun to watch for anyone. Because now you're going to watch them play a hero that he's not very good at.
Ooh, are they going to ban Widow instead of McCree?
I like watching Widow gameplay. I just like seeing the hit scan mechanical skill of a lot of these players.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind it. I mean, it'll make it more brawly. Like, let's just ban everyone but Reaper May and like Ryan Zarya. Like, just go at it.
If they ban Widow, I guarantee you we're going to see Ashe. People really like to play the long range, stay out of sight kind of characters, and Ashe, I think she needs either a rework or another buff because she never gets played. Something with Torbjorn, but I don't know how you buff Torb.
I think Torb is fine in certain. He's just a niche hero.
Yes.
But I think 1v1ing a Torb is scary. Like when he presses his E and starts running around. If he has that
on cooldown, then you might not win that game.
I rarely fight Torbs once they use it. What's it called now? It's not called Molten Core anymore. Or is it?
Overload?
Overload. Something like that. Yeah. When he does overload on a tracer, I'm like, I'm not dealing with his right click. He's going to shotgun me to death.
Just shoot the turret and leave Torb alone because he's kind of worthless without the turret.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do anything else. But it's so these hero bands or hero pools coming in will change a lot of what we're going to see, and I'm glad that it is going to. It's going to be a good thing for the Overwatch League in general. So I'm a fan of it. It's just a matter of I hope Blizzard does these things right. It'll keep the game fresh anyway.
You know what? I think that's a good spot to end the main show on.
Okay.
Actually. So, folks, thanks for being here. If you're watching live, stick around for the post show. If not, thanks for listening to Texaswatch. We're your source for your Texas-based Overwatch League discussion every Tuesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, because Texas time
is best this time.
If you don't want to watch live, catch us on podcast services, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all podcasts. Or go on YouTube, search Texas Watch. We'll be right there for you too. But until next time, let's make Texas proud.
Yeehaw!